Hi, good night everyone. This is U.S. Immigration Attorney Sharifa Tharpe, and I am here live to take your immigration questions. So if you have an immigration question, if you're going through the immigration process, you're thinking about going through the immigration process, or you have been through the immigration process, then I know that you have a question that probably keeps you up at night. So here's your chance to ask a U.S. immigration attorney your question. So I'm going to tell you more about me while your questions come in. I'm U.S. immigration attorney Sharifa Tharpe. I help clients to get their green cards and their status in the United States. So you can go to the link in my bio to learn more about me. To go to the website, you will see the contact information if you'd like to schedule your own personal legal consultation, and you'll also see my bio, and you can also complete the contact form. Sometimes the phone lines do get busy, and if they're busy, you're finding it hard to actually get through, which is not usual. But if that is the problem, then go ahead, complete that contact form, and the scheduling coordinator will contact you on the next business day, which will be tomorrow. So go ahead, and now it's a time to put your questions in the comments. So Sugar Dumpling Cheeks, I like that name. I am in Boca Raton, Florida. However, I represent clients all over the country. I am not limited by borders. I'm not limited by state lines. As immigration attorneys, it is very normal and usually the case that we have to work with USCIS offices all over the country and US embassies all over the world. So I offer phone and video consultations for those of you who may not be able to meet with me in person, and I'm very experienced with working with my clients all over the country. So go ahead, so let's see. I'm seeing a number of questions. So do immigration check your social network? Yes. That is a possibility, and they will check. So make sure that you don't have information on there that is inconsistent with your application or that will implicate you in any kind of wrongdoing or violations. LCL, how many years will it take to bring my husband if I'm a permanent resident? Right now, I'm telling you, it's a good time to apply for your spouse, because there's no wait list right now for an immigrant visa number. And what that means is that it could be a shorter process. So I would say prepare for a 2-year process right now. Keep in mind that could always change. So now is the time to go ahead and apply. And LCIL, if you'd like to get started, if you'd like to figure out your options, go ahead and schedule a consultation with me. Go to the website and you can contact me at 561-405-4889, or you can go to the link in my bio where it'll take you to the website. You can always complete a contact form. Hi there, good evening. Well, when will the embassy in Jamaica open? So I don't have an answer for you in regards to a specific date. But what I can tell you is go to the website, because every embassy right now, especially with COVID, is functioning differently. So go to the website, check on it regularly, and I'm pretty sure that they will announce when they're back in operation, or disclose which visas they're processing or what they're doing. After applying for a 10-year green card, when can you apply for citizenship? So you can actually apply for citizenship at the same time that you are applying for that 10-year green card. If you've had your permanent residence for 3 years, if you got your green card through a U.S. citizen spouse, and you maintain that marriage to that U.S. citizen spouse for 3 years. So there is a way to apply at the same time. You can go ahead, schedule a consultation. We can talk about it. So tell me the updates on the U visa. So right now there are no updates, nothing new on U visas. And U visas are for victims of crimes, for those of you who don't know. So if you've been the victim of certain crimes, usually crimes that result in mental or physical abuse, can also help the victim and their family obtain a U visa, that's a work permit. It's a very long right now because the system is backlogged. But for those individuals who have to wait, some do obtain deferred action and get a work permit, and so that could be a possibility. I know that the Biden administration, they are working on really trying to optimize the immigration system, trying to make it fairer and better for those who are stuck right now and in limbo. And so as soon as something comes down the pipeline, I'll let you know. What do you do if a visa was canceled? So that depends on why it was canceled. We'd have to get to the root of the problem first before I can advise. There are a number of reasons that it could be canceled. It could be an immigration violation, or they could find something that was different in your background than what you disclosed, which could be bigger problems for you. But it all depends. If you really would like to get to the root of the problem, schedule a consultation. How soon should I apply for a green card if I'm here on OPT training? So it really depends on what your situation is. I can't tell you what to do. I don't know how you qualify. I don't know what your current situation is. But however, if you do qualify for a green card through family or through an employer, then now is the time to schedule a consultation to figure out what strategy you should take while applying for the green card. So I love your videos because it stands for a lot and people see you as a good person. Thanks. So thank you for that. And that's what inspires me. I help people to get out of bad situations. I help people to get their green card. I help people to where they didn't think they had hope. I help people to see that there are ways to get the green card. If you're a self-employed person, how long should your business be registered to qualify for a visa? So that is definitely something we'd have to sit down in a consultation for. If you're talking about the E2 visa, then you can actually, and it depends on where you are. So where are you, what country you're a citizen of? Are you the country of an E2? Are you the citizen of an E2 country? Now, if you're here and you're without status, then you will not be able to get that E2 visa while being in the United States. You have to apply for that visa at the US Embassy. But as long as you are currently investing in that business, you can go ahead and as long as you're putting in a substantial investment in the business, you can go ahead and apply for the E2. But first, it's always a good idea to get legal assistance. The E2 visa is one of the complex visas that you need, where you need to meet all the requirements. So go ahead, schedule a consultation should you need assistance. Do you know if the Dominican Embassy for visas open? Go to the US Embassy's website in Dominica and see what they're up to. I'm pretty sure they will give updates on their website. Dolly Johnson, thanks for sharing. Stacy Minaj, how long will you receive your work permit after the biometrics? So right now I'm seeing about 6 to 8 months. But keep in mind that this is just an average for me. It's not, doesn't mean that it's going to apply in your case. It could be 4 months. It could be more than 8 months, but the average time I'm seeing is 6 to 8. Sandeep, it's nice to see you here. Sexy Kitty, can one get an open work permit in the US? It depends on what you're applying for. You'll need to qualify for the work permit by applying for some other type of immigration benefit that allows you to get the work permit while you wait for the benefit. So it's applying for a work permit while being in the US is not an automatic benefit that you'll obtain. You'll need to qualify in some way. Is trying to prove a legitimate marriage the main thing immigration looks for in a marriage base? Yes, so in a marriage base, but keep in mind, while it is one of the major aspects of applying for the marriage-based green card, it's not the only. You also, if you're here in the United States and you're applying for an adjustment of status, you have to make sure that you qualify for the adjustment of status process, or you'll also be turned down. So that's also a major part. If you're already outside of the United States, you have to make sure that you're admissible in every way, meaning you don't have anything else in your background that's going to disqualify you from getting the green card. But definitely if it's marriage-based, you need to make sure. How can an illegal, so I'm not sure, Dolly Johnson, I don't think that question is complete. Can you retype? Do you have any faster process of work permit while applying for U visa? Unfortunately not. Now, if you, what happens is they will do a preliminary review of your application, and if they see that you qualify for it and you've met all the requirements, they will put you on a deferred action list. It's like a wait list, and then issue you, that would give you the ability to apply for a work permit. Unfortunately, there's nothing that's any faster right now. I'm making reference to a B1, B2 visa. So on the B1, B2, you wouldn't necessarily run a business. Monty John, I passed your question a long time ago. So go ahead and clarify for me. But if we're talking about registering a business on a B1, B2, it's a good idea if you're applying for B1, B2. It's a great idea to show that you have a business, because then you can show that you have a strong commitment to your home country, which is your business. So it would be a great idea to register your business. What if you send a letter to the USCIS about a fight between a fiance and we are back together? So that is going to be complex. That's going to be a complex situation. I wouldn't be able to advise you in specific about that. But if you really would like to make sure that that does not affect the process, go ahead, schedule a consultation, and let's talk more about it. Please remind me how to schedule a consultation. Of course. So you can call 561-405-4889. That number is plastered all over my videos. You can also go to the link in my bio. It takes you to the website. The contact information is there, as well as what's called a contact form, where you can submit your information to us and we will get back to you. So do I need to take the test if I'm applying for the N600 certificate of citizenship? So no, because what you're applying for is proof of your citizenship, and you have to prove that you're a citizen, but you would not be subjected to the test. How long does a K1, K2 visa take? So right now, it's taking over 1 year. I know it should be a shorter process. These type of visas, they were created to create a shorter path for the fiance of a U.S. citizen, but unfortunately it is backlogged and they are still taking over a year. How can I have a visa? I'm from Trinidad. Will I need the E2 visa to start a business in the U.S.? So if you're going to run a business in the United States, then you would need some sort of visa to be able to legally work and run your business in the U.S., because you have to have some sort of authorization to work in the United States. So the E2 could be one of those ways. How can you get picked for a green card lottery? So it's basically a random process. So what you do is you go to, there's a specific website on the Department of State. If you go to their website and just type in their search, green card diversity lottery, you can see how you can register. Now, it usually opens up around late September, October, and then you will sign up, register, and then they'll let you know whether you were selected. I have 8 years old and a 7-month-old. There's U.S. citizen father plan to marry me. Can that help my case? I think that's case. So absolutely. Now, it depends on how you got here. If you came on a visa, or came in with some sort of permission, came through the border with permission, then there is a way to apply here while you're here in the United States through your U.S. citizen spouse when he marries you. So that is one way. Shan Smurf, definitely get in touch with me, schedule a consultation, and let's talk about it. It's so valuable to do this consultation because you know what you're getting into. You know for sure whether you qualify for it. You walk away knowing exactly what you need to do, and you walk away with me as your attorney should you need one. it's very important also to avoid devastating mistakes. So you don't want to start a process that you can't finish, or that you know you'll be denied or you weren't qualified for. So schedule a consultation and let's talk more. What's the base way to obtain green card if you are overstayed your visa? So if you overstayed your visa, you will have to apply. Now, there are different ways. And so I'm going to give you a quick summary. If you have a U.S. citizen spouse, if you're the parent of a U.S. citizen who's 21 or over, or if you are the son or daughter of a U.S. citizen under 21 and unmarried, there is a way to adjust status if you've overstayed your visa. However, if you are over 21 and you're here without your papers, but you do have a U.S. citizen or legal permanent resident spouse or parent, there's a way to apply for forgiveness for overstaying. And that waiver, it's called a waiver. And that waiver is going to be based on your ability to prove extreme hardship to your U.S. citizen or green card holder spouse or parent if you do not get that green card. So that is basically, in a nutshell, some of the ways that you can remedy the situation if you've overstayed and you're here in the U.S. Now, keep in mind that if you cannot apply for the green card while you're here in the U.S., and you definitely would not want to leave if you've overstayed by over 6 months. The reason being, if you leave the country without getting an approved waiver, what will happen is you will be barred and stuck outside of the United States for 3 years if you overstay by 6 months, and 10 years if you go over a year, if you overstay by a year. So you definitely want to address that by applying for the waiver. Sent in my visa application and its current status is administrative processing. What is that? So that means that it is in an extended review for some reason. And Salif Day, if you have any concerns, if there's something on your application that you're worried about, definitely schedule a consultation and let's talk more. But it basically means that it's in extended review for some particular reason. Frank Jet 1, how long after your biometric you have to wait on your work permit? So I would say you need to give it a couple of months. Overall, from the time that you apply to the time you get your work permit, it's taking about 6 to 8 months. How long does it take for a married visa? So I would say give it 18 months to 2 years. Shan Smurf, you're welcome. Can you travel within the U.S. with a combo card? So I'm not sure what the combo card is. Can you clarify, please, Nero 1312? Kimon Hemmings in the U.S., but I don't see the other part. I'm applying for my citizenship, but my green card expires in December. Can I still work after? So now keep in mind, great question. Keep in mind that the card itself expires, but that does not mean that your permanent residence has expired. You're still a permanent resident. But what will happen is if your employer comes and asks you for evidence that you continue to have legal status in the United States, that green card would be the way to prove that you're a permanent resident. Otherwise, you can't prove it. So what you should do is you should have evidence of your permanent residence. And if you want to make sure that you have evidence of your permanent residence, even though you haven't lost your permanent residence, you should apply to renew it, and then you would get an extension that you can use to show your status. You can use to show that you are authorized to work in the United States. Will getting the E2 visa extend to my kids? Great question. Fly Society, yes, it does. It goes to your children who are under 21 and unmarried, as well as your spouse. And guess what? Even if your children, so if you're the citizen of an E2 country, but your children are not, it doesn't matter. They still get to go along with you. How long it takes for a 2 condition to remove? So right now it is terribly backlogged, but what I can tell you is make sure that you submit your application within 90 days before it expires so that you are you're okay. If you have to apply without your spouse, definitely get in touch with me. There are ways to do this, so you don't have to skip out on renewing your green card. However, there is an average right now of 18 months to 2 years just to remove the conditions, and hopefully it gets better. Keep in mind that these are estimates based on my observations. Yours might be shorter, it might be longer. It just depends on your situation. Thank Kate for sharing the live. So now my daughter got pregnant. Can you say how that will work out? So my husband is a green card holder. He petitioned for me and my daughter were DQ from last year, March. So now my daughter got pregnant. Can you say how that will work out? So if your daughter got pregnant and she, as long as she's not married, so she's unmarried, then she could possibly bring them over as derivatives as well, but they have to be included in that application. So get in touch with me. Let's talk more about that. How do you go about no waiver from an immigration officer? So I'm not sure what you mean by that, the no waiver. So how do you go about the waiver? So you have to show evidence of extreme hardship to your U.S. citizen or green card holder spouse or a parent. And extreme hardships, keep in mind that this is not a fill in the blanks type of form. This takes strategy, it takes preparation, it takes legal know-how, because you have to attach evidence of their extreme hardships, which doesn't mean they're gonna miss you. What it means is that they're dependent on you. If you don't get the green card, it's going to be to their detriment in the United States. So keep that in mind. Or if they have, for example, if your spouse has to relocate with you, if you don't get the green card, then it's going to lead to their detriment. If they have to leave the United States, leave their opportunities, leave their job, leave their children to move with you to another country. Juliana Archer, thanks for sharing the live. So work permit and advanced parole. So let's see. Nero, I don't see the other part of your question. Salif, if it's an extended review but have not been contacted by the embassy, will it lead to an automatic denial? So Salif, it depends on what the situation is. Do they renew passports online? So you do have to submit. So if you're talking about the U.S. passport, you do have to submit that in person at a passport center. Mature doll, thanks for the follow. She will be 18 next month. So yes, so she's under 21 and she's unmarried. However, it is possible, but now if your spouse applied for her, then she can carry her children along with her. Mature doll, thanks for the follow. How can I apply for the E2 visa? So you'll have to apply at the embassy in your home country. You'll have to meet the requirements. So if you are the citizen of an E2 country, for example, in the Caribbean, it's Jamaica, Grenada, Trinidad, and then there's Central American countries as well, Mexico, Costa Rica, Panama, South American countries, Argentina, and Bolivia. So those are some examples. If you can show that you have invested a substantial amount of capital in a business or you're starting a business, then that could be one way to qualify for that. And then you would submit the relevant documentation, show a business plan, show the money that you've spent on you've invested in the business. Now, one thing I want you to know is that money in the bank isn't enough. So if you're thinking, I have 100K in the bank, that's enough. You have to show that you're actively investing or that you have invested in the business in the US. Kate, thanks again. Nero, can you travel within the US with a work permit and advanced parole? So yes, you can. How long does it take for the citizenship process? So right now it's taking an average of 6 months. I have one case that took 2 months. 2 months, which is absolutely great. So if you want to apply, now what I do is I submit my applications via the online portal, And so I've not had any of my cases go over 6 months. If you, now keep in mind that does not mean guarantee that that will be the case for you. But if you would like to schedule a consultation, make sure you qualify and then go ahead and apply. Go ahead and give me a call. Do you do consultation? What's the fee? Yes, absolutely. My consultations are $150 for up to an hour. And I was saying before, it's a good way to start the process. For $150, you walk out knowing whether you qualify, you get the answers to your question, you know the strategy you have to take, and you walk out with me as your attorney, and you avoid possible errors, devastating mistakes in your case. So I'm from Trinidad. Where can I contact you concerning setting up a U.S. business from Trinidad? Call me at 561-405-4889, or you can go to the link in my bio. My number is plastered all over my video. You can also complete the contact form with your name, your information, and the scheduling coordinator will get back to you and put you on my schedule. I got a DUI 3 years ago. Would this affect my citizenship application? It possibly could. Now, when you do have a situation where you had a DUI, you want to make sure that you prepare very well for this. DUIs can disqualify you based on good moral character, and it depends on other aspects of your background. Now, where one DUI may not disqualify you in citizenship, multiple DUIs can. However, if the officer does look at your background and they still see behavior along with the DUI that reflects badly on you, then it could definitely cause a denial. Definitely schedule a consultation, kids, and let's talk about preparing your application to make sure you go in strong. Suleiman, thanks for the follow. Good evening. Can you sue someone if they're not doing what they're doing in regards to the affidavit? So wow, that is, now if they are not fulfilling their no, it is a contract. However, this is definitely a novel question. I've never gotten this question before, but keep in mind that it is a contract. It's a contract with the government to be able for them to support you. So that that could definitely be a possibility. But schedule a consultation and we can talk more about that issue and determine what the best goal is going forward. Angelique 711, thanks for sharing. Big Josh McIntosh. Okay, nice. How much for the consultation? It's $150 for up to an hour, and we in detail we discuss. I advise you. And, it's a good way to start your process, to make sure you qualify, make sure you avoid devastating mistakes, make sure that you go into your process prepared, and also walk in with an attorney should you need one. Hi there, Jay Bond. How long do you have to hold a green card before you can apply for citizenship? Great question. So generally 5 years if you were married to a U.S. citizen. Received your green card through a U.S. citizen, stayed married to the U.S. citizen for those 3 years, you could apply for U.S. citizenship at 3 years. What if your kid's case status is ready? What are the next steps? So it depends on whether your kids are going through the adjustment of status process or the embassy. But if their case is ready, then that means that it's likely the next step would be the interview. Or a decision, so it depends. I'm a U.S. citizen. My wife joined me from Africa, September 2019. How soon can she apply for citizenship? So 3 years. 3 years if she got the green card through you, she remained married to you for 3 years. So you can do the math. Asha, okay, I'm looking forward to hearing from you. Kate's 98. That looks like you're happy with that answer. If you're refused B1, B2 visa, how long after can you reapply? So there's no real limit on when you can apply. You can apply for a visitor's visa as many times as you want. But of course, if you were denied, you want to make sure that if there's a change in your application, that you come good and make sure you go in with the right evidence to convince the officers as to why they shouldn't deny you the next time you apply. So keep your questions coming. I am here to answer your immigration questions. So don't hesitate to put those questions in the comments. Let me check here. What do you do if a visa was canceled even though you didn't know you did anything wrong? So I'm that girl 119. It really depends on the reason. So if you didn't know you did anything wrong, unfortunately, ignorance of the law is not a justification, and it really depends on the way that you're going to fix the situation. Depends on how, depends on what the issue is. Salif, you are welcome. Deb, I think that's Deb. Let's call you Deb. Can you get the visa waiver through an LPR? Yes, so you can get a waiver. If you're talking about overstaying and you're talking about applying for the green card, then yes, through an legal permanent resident spouse or parent. Nats, I am glad. Go ahead and do that. Nats the realist. I'm here ready to assist you. So what kind of proof does immigration look for within a marriage? So they're looking to see if your marriage is real. So affidavits, joint property, communication like text messages, joint lease, pictures, the wedding. They're going to ask you questions at the interview to make sure you know each other, things like that. Shansmark, how long does it take to get back US passport for my kids after CBRA? So I've seen about 4 weeks, but I don't know what the current processing time is, but I've seen an average of 4 weeks. How long will the visa waiver take through the LPR? It could take anywhere from 6 months to a year and a half. Keep those questions coming. I am here to answer your immigration questions. You're welcome, Shan Smurf, and Onika, you're welcome. Keep those questions coming. Why not take advantage of a U.S. immigration attorney being here to answer your immigration related questions? How much money do you need to sponsor your husband? So if you go to uscis.gov and you pull up in the search bar, just pull up the I-864P form. That's going to have a chart that shows you the household size and the amount that your spouse should be making based on the household size. Okay, thanks. I'll definitely need a consultation. I am glad. I am looking forward to speaking with you. Call 561-405-4889. Now you can call right now and you will get an after hours receptionist, and they'll take your name, your number, and then the scheduling coordinator can get back to you on the next business day. What are the requirements to apply for a U.S. visa for Jamaica? I just found your page. So it's the same as everywhere else. You should complete, of course, a non-immigrant visa application. And then you must show that you have strong ties to your home country to be able to apply for the visa. That means that you can show you have a stable job, you have strong family ties, you have property, you have a mortgage, you have strong commitments, you're a student, you've paid your school fees. To be able to show that, convince the officer that if you visit the United States, you will return after a temporary visit. Can you file for your 3-person one time? So it depends on what type of application. So what you can do is you can go to the link in my bio to learn more about me. Go to the website. The office phones are open 24/7. So you can call right now, speak to an after hours receptionist who will take your name, your information, and the scheduling coordinator will get back to you on the next business day, which would be tomorrow. Also, what are some of the questions you would be asked at the interview, and would a job letter? So a job letter could definitely be proof. And so at these interviews, the officer usually they'll ask you the purpose of your visit. They'll look at your evidence to make sure that you have evidence to convince them that you will be able to return to the country. And a job letter, yeah, sure, a job letter could be good. I signed up online, but keep in mind, this is general information, Alia, and whether the job letter generally could be good evidence of your job, how long you've been working there. However, it depends on whether you have a strong application, depends on the whole picture. I signed up online, can't wait to talk to you. One last question, how long is the I-360 process? Mali, I'm so glad, I cannot wait to speak with you. So it takes about 2 to 2.5 years right now. And it also, keep in mind, it depends on who you're applying through. So if you're applying through a U.S. citizen or legal permanent resident spouse, it's taking about 2 to 2.5 years. If you're applying based on a relationship or mistreatment by a U.S. citizen or legal permanent resident parent, and you're over 21, then it could take a little longer. Now, but here's the good part is that you would be able to get a work permit while you wait for the entire process to go through. Okay, so Shetty, so I don't have a Spanish translator here, but hopefully you can understand. So you want to know how to close an order of deportation after 13 years. And in this case, this is a complex case, and you should definitely get in touch with me, schedule a consultation, and then we can figure that out. I do have Spanish, the staff, they're Spanish speaking, so they would be able to translate during the consultation. But go ahead and schedule a consultation. It's more complex because first we'd have to go to the court, get it reopened, and then focus on the VAWA. How long is the green card interview at the consulate? So it depends. So you have to go through the security protocol. So make sure you're up and out the door. Make sure you get there well in advance, maybe 30 minutes or 15 minutes before. Follow the instructions on your interview notice. When you get there, most of the time that you wait is waiting. When you get to the actual officer, the officer is gonna, maybe if it's marriage based, they're gonna ask you questions about your relationship. If it's parental, they may touch on questions about your parental relationship. And then they may touch on your background if there's something in your background. And then in a nutshell, they'll make a decision there or tell you whether they'll need more information. But they usually review the medical exam. They review the affidavit of support. They'll ask you a few questions. So I would say the interview could take about 20 minutes, 20 to 30 minutes at most. How do he take to get your parents when you're citizens? So I'd say prepare for an 9-month to 18-month process. Oh my God, thank you. I'm sorry I was here. All you say in Spanish. That's why I wrote like that. Okay, great. I'm so glad that you understand. I'm really looking forward to scheduling a consultation. And we have Spanish translators who would be able to make sure that it's a comfortable consultation for you. Atlanta, how long do you take after you apply the I-130 for your parents when you're a citizen? So you can actually apply right now. So once you become a citizen right away, and I'd say prepare for a 9-month to an 18-month process for your parents. Boss Nurse RN, it's nice to see you here and thanks for following. I applied for US visa but was turned down at the interview. How long after I can reapply? So there's no limit on how many times you can apply for the US visa, for the visitor's visa. But keep in mind that if you want to reapply, you want to make sure you go in with the right evidence to convince the officer that you qualify for this. So rate Dr. Bailey, thanks for the follow. MSTB742, thanks for the follow. Keep your questions coming. I am here. The questions are great. Thank you for all your questions. So keep those questions coming. While I am here, I'm on a roll and I'm ready to answer your immigration questions. Now, if you want to learn more about me, go to the link in my bio, Atlanta Armani. So I see, thank you. That's a question, but You're welcome. So if you would like to learn more about me, go to the link in my bio and you can go visit the website. You'll see the contact number. You'll see the contact form. So if the phones are busy, guess what? You can fill out the contact form. It will come across to the scheduling coordinator, who will call you back and put you on my schedule and confirm your appointment with me. Is it better to get married in the US or the country of your birth, and does it really matter? So where you get married, you have the right to get married anywhere you want. But yes, you are right, there is a strategy behind it. So if you get married in the country of your birth, it means that your spouse is outside of the US and really can't get married here. And if that's the case, you'll probably go through consular processing, meaning you'll apply for the green card while they're outside of the United States. If they're here in the United States and you get married, in most cases they're here, they've been here for a while, they plan to stay here and not go back. And then in that case, you would go through the adjustment of status process. As long as you are a US citizen and your spouse came in on a visa and overstayed that visa, then that would be forgiven and they would be able to adjust status in the US. But in order to go through your details, make sure you schedule a consultation so that I can definitely advise you in a more specific, accurate way, and then I can give you more strategic advice as to which one is best. How long does it take for me to bring my brothers to the US? Unfortunately, that's a very long process. If you're a US citizen, it's taking 14 years minimum. Unless the law changes, that's what you're looking at. Now, if it's your last resort, if that's the only way that your siblings will qualify, then you just have to be invested. So you have a VAWA approved and I have an order of deportation. So Chetty 1213, there may be a way to approach this, but it's very important to schedule a consultation. Because one way is if you already have an order of deportation, usually that's the case if you it was done in your absence, then there may be a way to get the case reopened through the immigration court and then to basically get them to close the case so that you can move forward in the VAWA process. Can an uncle apply for you and niece to come up on a green card? If so, how long does it take? No, uncles can't directly sponsor their nieces. What are the requirements you need to apply for a Canadian visa? So I'm a US immigration attorney. I don't do Canadian. He is a US citizen. So that's the realist. So if he's a US citizen, I think this may have been a marriage-based question. And you overstay. If you're here in the US, you overstayed your visa, then that could be one way, adjustment of status. But if you're outside of the United States, then it would be consular processing. What if you had a US visa and went to renew and didn't get it back? So Mona, it depends on what happened. Sometimes you go back and they're not convinced that you'll return if you leave the country and go to the US. That may be a reason. Maybe you didn't have strong enough evidence, or maybe they found something and decided not to renew. So it all depends on the situation. So Kadeja, I'm from Central America and would like to apply for the first time for a visa. What do I do? Kadeja, make sure that you have strong ties to your home country. Make sure, and when I say that, I mean make sure you can show that you have a strong commitment that will make you return after you have visited the US temporarily. So that means that you have property, mortgage, job, school, strong family ties. What's the program called for non-US citizens to start a business in the US? So the one that I talk about mainly is the E2, and if you're a citizen of an E2 country, such as Jamaica, Trinidad, Grenada, Panama, Costa Rica, Argentina, Bolivia, then there's a way to start a business in the US as long as you can show us that you've been investing a substantial capital into that country. Sugar, Lena, I am here to help. So definitely schedule a consultation and let's talk. Concept V marketing. When is the best time to file for my spouse as a green card holder? So you can, right now, I'm saying right now is a good time to apply for your spouse. But this is a strategic question, really. Because for example, if you're a U.S. citizen, if you're a green card holder, your spouse is here, but you're about to apply for U.S. citizenship, then you could possibly wait to become a citizen so your spouse can adjust status here in the United States. But they have some green card holders, they're not going to become U.S. citizen for years and years, and so they want to apply for their spouse that's currently in the United States with them, but who overstayed. In that case, they'll have to apply for what's called a waiver to be able to finish the green card process in their home country. But it's really based on your particular circumstances. Chico, my daughters live in England. Can they get a U.S. citizenship? I'm not sure what you mean. Is it my daughter live in England? I'm not sure. Chico, can you rephrase that question so I can understand it? And that's the realist. You're welcome. Should marry in his country or here? Which one is better? So Sugarlina, get in touch with me, schedule a consultation, because that in itself will take some time, because first I have to sift through what you qualify for, what is best under the circumstances, and then I can advise. If your spouse is outside of the country, they can't come to the United States, they don't have a visa, then you would probably have to go through consular processing. But if they're here, you decide to get married and they decide to overstay, that could be a possibility if you are, Sugarlina, a U.S. citizen. Slim Act. I'm going to be a first timer, apply for U.S. visa. What do I do? Show strong ties to your home country. Atlanta Armani, can I adopt my sister's son, 15 years old, and apply for it as my son for him to come in the U.S.? So that now he's 15 years old. Usually you'd have to finish the process by the time they're 16, and so it's highly unlikely that would happen at this point. Latoya Calendar, thanks for the follow. Both my daughters were born in England. Their mother moved back when she became pregnant. So I'm not sure, still not sure. Let me see. I'm not seeing the rest of your questions, Chico 13. So yes, I'm a U.S. citizen. And Sugarlina, definitely it's a good idea, because you go in knowing exactly what you need to do. Make sure you don't avoid any questions. So Chico 13 Dolphin. So I am American. So both my daughters were born in England. Their mother moved back when she became pregnant. So that sounds like it's whether your daughters have derived citizenship from you, Chico, and it could, but it depends. That sounds like a complex situation. Schedule a consultation and we can talk more about that. Simply Joe Helly, thanks for the follow. So keep your questions coming while I'm here. I'm here to answer your immigration questions. So go ahead and put your questions in the comments. Chico 13, you're welcome. How to go about getting a work visa. So you have to qualify through an employer who's willing to apply for you or to show that they've offered you a position. Can a green card holder bring his adult children to the U.S. as long as the adult children are unmarried? If they're over 21, then yes. If they're under 21 and unmarried, they still qualify as children, and that would be a shorter process. So you would go through the consular processing. So you would submit the forms. Once it's approved, they send it to the embassy and schedule an interview with the kids. And that in a nutshell is the process. If you really need assistance, give me a call and then we can get into detail about that. But as a green card holder, you can definitely qualify. So Atlanta Armani, I don't get into forms just because I don't want anybody pulling up forms on my account and they turn out to be the wrong forms. And so I always like to sit in a consultation and then I get more into detail with that. Can I still file for a green card or work permit even if my wife and I are getting a divorce? It's possible. So if you're getting a divorce but your wife mistreated you, then there is a way to apply on your own, even if you're divorced. If you have been divorced for less than 2 years, then there is still a way to apply on your own if you're a U.S. citizen or green card holder spouse mistreated you. So why U.S.? There's other countries as well. I'm not sure what that means. All right, so thank you all for your questions. Concept v marketing. I put in filing for my spouse, and would it affect him getting an approval for an H-2B visa? Yes, so it could, just because if you're filing for your spouse to get permanent residence, it goes against the rule that they have to have non-immigrant intent. They have to be intending to come to the U.S. to live temporarily. Joe did. Can I file for my 28-year-old daughter in Jamaica? How long will that take? It's possible if she's unmarried, and if you're a green card holder or a U.S. citizen, you can. Atlanta Armani, you're welcome. Concept V Marketing, you're welcome. Now, I am going to log out for the day, but I am here every day. So if you would like to follow me, and as soon as you see me hop on, you hop on and ask your questions, go ahead and do that. If you would like, so let me see. What if you're born in a jail in England, but your mother is a green card holder in America? So unfortunately, unless your parent applied for you to get permanent residence, then you would not be a permanent resident in the United States. But if your mom, that is a complex situation, but because your mom is a green card holder in America, that wouldn't automatically give you status. How long would it take? So Jadid, I want to apply for a visa. So there are ways to apply. If you're applying for a visitor's visa, you have to show strong ties to your home country and submit the relevant forms. How would the process be for filing for my 28-year-old daughter? So you'll have to file the forms, and then you'll have to, once those forms are approved, then it goes through the embassy, and you submit all the documents they request. But to get into detail, I'll need to do a consultation, because I can spend an hour talking to you just about that process. So thank you again for all your questions. It was such a pleasure to answer your questions. These were all great questions. Go ahead and check the link in my bio if you'd like to learn more about me, schedule a consultation. If the phone lines are busy, you can always complete the contact form and the scheduling coordinator will get back to you on the next business day. Follow me. My number is all over my videos, so that's one way, or go to the link in my bio to get the phone number on the website. Thanks, it's been a pleasure, and as usual, I'll be back tomorrow, so it's not the end here. All right, have a good night, everyone. Bye.